Have you ever wondered how the prison system profits from crime? Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Fast Facts. Imagine a world where prisons aren't just institutions of punishment and rehabilitation, but also profitable businesses. Yes, you heard it right. Businesses. This is the reality of for-profit prisons, a concept that transforms justice into a commercial enterprise. The implications are vast, potentially altering the very essence of our justice system. To understand this, we need to delve into the history of for-profit prisons. The concept of for-profit prisons is not new. It dates back to the 19th century. During this period, the United States was recovering from the Civil War and grappling with the end of slavery. In this environment, the convict leasing system was born. This system allowed private businesses to lease prisoners from the state for labor, effectively continuing the practice of slavery under a different name. These prisoners, many of whom were African American men arrested on dubious charges, were subjected to brutal working conditions. They were often forced to work in industries such as mining and railway construction, where they faced high mortality rates due to the dangerous nature of the work. This was the birth of for-profit prisons, a system that capitalized on the labor of incarcerated individuals. Despite the abolition of the convict leasing system, the concept of for-profit prisons did not disappear. It merely evolved, adapting to the changing social and political climate. The convict leasing system was abolished, but the idea of for-profit prisons persisted. Fast forward to the 1980s, a time of drastic changes in the American justice system. It was an era marked by the war on drugs and tough-on-crime policies. These initiatives, while intended to maintain law and order, resulted in an unforeseen consequence: a dramatic surge in the prison population. Suddenly, correctional facilities across the nation were bursting at the seams, grappling with severe overcrowding and exorbitant costs. In this climate of crisis, the idea of for-profit prisons found new life. The government, seeking to mitigate the strain on public resources, turned to privately owned and operated facilities. The promise was enticing: lower costs, increased efficiency, and a solution to the overcrowding dilemma. Private corporations began to build and manage prisons, trading in stocks and shares, with the incarcerated population as their commodity. These institutions were no longer just places of confinement. They morphed into profit-driven businesses where the more prisoners they housed, the more money they made. As the 1990s rolled around, this trend only intensified. Tougher sentencing laws and a zero-tolerance stance on crime fed the growth of the for-profit prison industry. The prison population continued to swell, and so did the profits of these private corporations. By the turn of the century, for-profit prisons had become a major part of the American justice system. The stage was set for a new era, where punishment and profit became inextricably intertwined. Despite their growth, for-profit prisons have not been without controversy. One of the most significant criticisms is the perceived prioritization of profit over rehabilitation. Critics argue that these institutions are more focused on filling beds and cutting costs to maximize profits, rather than investing in rehabilitation programs that could help reduce reoffending rates. This business model, they claim, undermines the ultimate goal of the penal system: to reintegrate offenders back into society. Allegations of mistreatment are another troubling aspect of the for-profit prison debate. Reports of inadequate medical care, poor living conditions, and even abuse have emerged from these institutions, raising serious questions about the treatment of inmates and the oversight of these privately run facilities. Perhaps one of the most contentious issues, however, is the idea that for-profit prisons create a financial incentive for keeping people in prison. The more inmates these institutions house, the more revenue they generate. This, critics say, creates a perverse incentive that could potentially influence sentencing policies and contribute to the problem of mass incarceration. These controversies have sparked intense debates about the morality and ethics of profiting from incarceration. They have led to calls for increased oversight, regulation, and in some cases, outright abolition of for-profit prisons. As we move forward, the debate over the role of for-profit prisons in our society continues. So, what have we learned about for-profit prisons? We dove into their inception, exploring how these institutions first emerged. We then charted their resurgence, a revival marked by a complex interplay of politics, economics, and societal factors. We also delved into the controversies that surround these establishments, revealing a myriad of ethical, legal, and moral quandaries. Please like and subscribe for future videos like this. Next time you hear about for-profit prisons, remember the complex history behind this controversial system.